Elon Musk is getting into show business. Elon Musk has proposed a brand new program called 69 Minutes, and he's offered to fully fund it. And I'm all about fully funding. So, ladies and gentlemen, for today only, Kaye Saves the Republic will be my audition for X Media's new show, 69 Minutes. And I'll tell you what, I've got, look, and I think it's a genius idea. Of course, we know that the media is biased against President Donald Trump. We know that the media has not only been biased and has worked as a propaganda arm of the Joe Biden administration, but now we know, thanks to Elon Musk and Doge, that the USAID has been fully funding the media. And so Elon Musk says, look, 69 minutes, it's a genius idea. Remember what happened with 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes, they deceptively edited the Kamala Harris interview. They deceptively cut it all up so it looked like Kamala Harris was smarter than she actually was. And we played some of those. We played some of those clips for you. If you missed it, here's my favorite.
We've got to have leaders who are solution oriented, which we've been and are, and I am going forward.
Yeah, and we have now with Donald Trump. Well, Elon Musk said, look, we need, somebody wrote, Stephanie Tyler wrote, how much does it cost and when do we buy it, Elon Musk? Because, Elon Musk is all about buying stuff. He didn't like Twitter because Twitter was liberal and it was biased and it was censoring free speech. So he bought that. He toyed with the idea of buying MSNBC. And now with 60 Minutes being a propaganda arm of the Democrat Party and being seen, and the FCC is, this isn't just conjecture. The FCC has opened an investigation. There's a $1 billion lawsuit that Donald Trump brought against CBS. And it looks like they're going to be funneling more money into the Donald Trump presidential library, which is going to be, at this point, it's probably going to be on Mars, let's be honest, if Elon has anything to say about it. But it's going to be one of the best, not only libraries, presidential libraries, but probably buildings ever created with all the media money that Donald Trump's winning in these lawsuits. But Elon Musk wrote, anyone want to create a hard-hitting show on X called 69 Minutes? I will actually fund it. And again, as I say, since I am now independent and since I rely on all kinds of funding efforts, I have no shame. I am willing to change, at least for the day, Kaye Saves the Republic into a test run, if you will, a pilot episode of 69 Minutes. Here, look, I'll even put up a timer. Watch, ready? There you go. 69 Minutes begins right now. This, of course, by the way, this playfully all comes from something that erupted on the internet yesterday. And I have to tell you, I love the internet for several reasons. Number one, it's a lot easier than, going out and doing actual research. I can just go on X and find everything I need for this show or anything else I want to do. But the other thing is the viral clips that pop up. And CNN yesterday did a report on I guess, on Doge and the Treasury Department and their concerns about Doge employees infiltrating the Treasury Department and stealing America's secrets and tapping into the mainframe server and the motherboard and typing new code and changing everything and taking over the world. That's basically what CNN and the rest of the left are concerned about. And they did what I have to imagine they believe was a serious report on one of Doge's employees. A 19-year-old goes by the name of Edward. However, on the internet, as a computer hacker, if you will, he's got another name that he goes by. And CNN thought they could get away with just casually mentioning it and not becoming the laughingstock of the entire World Wide Web.
Yes. So this is a 19-year-old high school graduate who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online. So that would be one way that we could refer to him. He is now working at Musk's behest inside Doge. And we looked into his background. And so we found, several notable things, Aaron, one of which is that this individual has founded multiple companies, including one with another unfortunate name, Tesla.Sexy LLC. Which he established in 2021. He would have been around 16 years old.
They say it like it's a bad thing. This 16-year-old kid is establishing LLCs. How many 16-year-old kids do you know with LLCs? Well, I think nowadays it's like 30%. But when I was a kid, it was like 0.0012% of 16-year-olds had LLCs. This kid sees an opportunity. He starts his own company. He starts an LLC. He calls it Tesla Sexy, which, let's be honest, they are. I don't have one myself. I'm more of a gas-guzzling SUV driver, but they're sexy. I know that Teslas are. I see them driving around and they whiz by me and I go, it was a Tesla. Yeah, a friend of mine I just saw on Instagram the other day got a Tesla. I had no idea. I thought they were, I thought they were gas guzzling SUV drivers like me, but she's like, I got a Tesla. I'm so excited. I don't know if that's the sound of Tesla. That's just in my mind. That's the sound of Tesla. Anywho, so CNN is all up in arms that Elon Musk has a 19-year-old named, what was it?
Big balls.
Yeah, thank you. By the way, this is not a Saturday Night Live skit. This is as much as it's, you know what? It's very reminiscent of the NPR skit from years of the Christmas special with Alec Baldwin, the sweaty balls. Remember? Yes, ladies, everyone loves my sweaty balls. It's uncanny how similar this report is to the sweaty balls segment on SNL. But this is not an SNL skit. This is CNN.
Big balls.
And I know that it's very difficult and sometimes to differentiate between the two, but that's what they're doing. This is what they're reporting on now. Now, the guy that they're talking about is, I did some digging and I went on X and I typed in big balls. And this is what came up. Irene Satos, who look at all these flags. She has so many flags. She's got the American flag. She's got the LGBTQIA plus flag. She's got the flag of Greece, which is interesting, and the flag of Ukraine. So she got a lot of flags. Edward Korestein has access to the entirety of the Small Business Administration, a 20-year-old who goes by Big Balls and whose wealth of experience includes working in the warehouse at his daddy's company and camp counselor. This is apparently him, the 19-year-old who goes by the name of Big Balls and led a meeting with the Treasury Department the other day where allegedly he asked the people on the call to justify their salaries, which, that seems normal, and then demanded access to the entire Treasury Department computer. Irene with all the flags seems to be a little jealous of 19-year-old Edward Korestein. By the way, she casually mentions that he worked in his daddy's warehouse, but his daddy's warehouse is part of a multi-million-dollar snack food company called Lesser Evil. I'm sure you've had it. Their Himalayan popcorn, their Himalayan salt popcorn is delicious. It's really, I've had it before. It's really, really good. I think I had it on a plane, but Lesser Evil, it's Connecticut. And anyway, so it's not just working in his daddy's warehouse. It's working for his daddy's multi-million-dollar snack food company. Oh, also, he holds an LLC that he's had since he's 16. Oh, also, he's a former computer hacker. And oh, also, at 19 years old, he was hired by Elon Musk to be part of the Doge team to help overhaul the government. And he went to the Department of Treasury and he met with the folks at the Department of Treasury and he said, "Hi, I'm here from Doge. We'd like to see everything so that we can cut out the waste." And the Treasury Secretary, a guy by the name of Scott Bessent, Scotty B. Scotty B did an interview with Sirius XM Radio, and it was at the Treasury Department in the money room. I think they call it the money room or the cash room. I don't know. I want to work at the Treasury Department. I'm thinking about running for Congress, as you know. If you listen to this show, you know that I'm about 94% sure that I'm going to make a run for this congressional seat in District 5 of Florida next year. But maybe the Treasury is a better place to work because they literally have a place called the money room. And I don't know that Congress has, actually, you know what? In Congress, I think every room's the money room. But anyway, I digress. Scott Bessent was doing an interview with Sirius XM and they were in the money room and they were asked about it. And this girl that was interviewing him said, "Is it true that you let Elon Musk's 19-year-old employee who goes by the name of Big Balls access? Did you let the Doge team just access everything here at the Treasury Department?" And here's what Scotty B said.
These are Treasury employees. It is two Treasury employees, one of whom I personally interviewed in his final round. There is no tinkering with the system. They are on read-only. They are looking. They can make no changes. It is an operational program to suggest improvement. So we make 1.3 billion payments a year. And this is two employees who are working with a group of long-standing employees.
So they can't make changes to the system as it's been reported. They can't access the system as it's been reported. They're read-only. They're going in there. They're getting information. They're auditing the system, if you will, but they don't have access to it. And this reporter from SiriusXM either wasn't paying attention to Scotty B's answer or just wasn't interested or just didn't understand it or just felt she didn't believe him because she asked him again. She's like, "So wait a minute. they can't change this. You're saying that he can't change the system, this big balls character.
This is no different than you would have at a private company. And by the way, the ability to change the system sits over at the Federal Reserve. So it doesn't even lie in this building. So they could make suggestions on how to change the system, but we don't even run the system.
Nobody seems to believe that Donald Trump knows what's going on. It's really interesting to me. Donald Trump ran on the premise of changing the government for the better, cutting out government waste, making the government more efficient. Donald Trump said, I'm going to get elected and he basically said, we're going to destroy the government. It's way too big. It's way too expensive. We've got way too many bureaucrats. He talked about how corrupt it was. He talked about how weaponized it was. The FBI, the DOJ, the IRS, the CIA. I mean, all those agencies, even the CDC has been weaponized against the American people. The FCC was weaponized against the American people. Every 3-letter organization, and apparently the USAID, which is a 5-letter organization, were all weaponized against the American people. And Donald Trump said, I'm going to hire Elon Musk. I'm going to put him in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency, and he's going to have carte blanche to go and clean it out. We all knew this. We all accepted it. We all celebrated it. We reveled in the thought. And now we voted for Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and they're here. And guess what? They're doing exactly what they said they are, and the left is having a field day. And this girl from SiriusXM, for the 3rd time, was like, wait a minute. I'm confused. Because I heard on CNN that they had some character named Big Balls.
Big Balls.
And he was going in and he was accessing the entire Treasury Department's mainframe and he was making changes to it. You're telling me that that's not true. And for a 3rd time, Scott Bessent, Scotty B, Secretary of the U.S. Treasury, said, for the love of God, no. Nobody is making changes.
They could make suggestions, then it would go to the Federal Reserve, and just like any large ERP system, there would be tests, there would be this, there would be that, and then the Fed will determine whether these changes are robust or not.
Yeah, ERP system stands for Enterprise something System. Enterprise Research. I don't know what it doesn't. It doesn't really matter what it stands for. He can't change it. Big Balls can't change it. Elon Musk can't change it. The only person that can change it is the Fed, and they can only do it by order of the Secretary of the Treasury, Scotty B, or Donald J. Trump, who is an elected official. That's the other thing. The left, they always like to tell you, I didn't vote for Elon Musk. I didn't vote for Big Balls. In fact, hold on. I want to pull up this meme. I didn't vote for Big Balls. This was one of my favorite memes of the day. Here it is right here. It was, look at this. No one elected Big Balls, which I'm going to be honest with you. They voted for Donald Trump. If you voted for Donald Trump, you 100% did elect Big Balls, because that's exactly what the guy has. But no one elected. This is their favorite thing. This is what they love to scream now. No one elected Elon Musk. No one elected Big Balls. No, but yes, who we did elect? Donald John Trump. And Donald Trump he's a delegator. He's delegating stuff to everybody. He's delegating to Marco Rubio, and he's saying, hey, Marco, go down to the Panama Canal and tell him we're not going to let China take it. Go to Greenland, tell them we are going to take it. Go to Gaza and say, hey, we should rebuild this. I want you to go down to Colombia and tell them that they better let those planes land. Go to Guantanamo Bay, make sure that the Marines are set up so that we can send illegal immigrant criminals there. Whatever. Marco Rubio is on a tear, not because Marco Rubio wants these things done, but because Donald Trump does. And Donald Trump wants them done because the American people hired Donald Trump to get them done. Same thing with Scotty B at the Treasury. Same thing with Elon Musk at Doge, and same thing with Big Balls. Big Balls wasn't elected, but the only 2 people, this is the dumbest argument ever. The only 2 people who were elected in this administration are Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Why? Because they're the only 2 people that were on the ballot. You can say that about any federal employee on down. Susie Wiles, who is arguably, next to Donald Trump, the most powerful person in the world. And I hear people all the time say she's the most powerful woman in the world. No, she's the most powerful person in the world. Yes, she's a woman, but it's Donald Trump, Susie Wiles, and then the rest of them. That's not an elected position. Nobody elected Susie Wiles, but she is making changes and decisions every single day that affect you, that affect this country and affect this world. doing a bang-up job, I'd like to point out as well. So is everybody in that White House. Caroline Leavitt was not elected by the people of the United States of America, but her boss was, and he said, she's the one that I want to go out there and talk about what I want to do. She's the one that I want to go out there and represent me. And Elon Musk was not elected by the people. That is true, but he was appointed by Donald Trump, who was, to clean out the government waste. And he said, I need help. I need big balls.
Big balls.
Yeah. And that's all what he got. Also, I'm excited, by the way. For the future of maybe one day Big Balls will run for office. Who knows? Probably not president, because I hear, just like me, he's Canadian. So he'll be left with some kind of low-level position like congressperson or senator or, cabinet member or something like that. But that's okay. You can still get, there's still a lot of power in those positions. Look, we've got a lot to talk about today on Mark Kaye Saves. Oh, I'm sorry. On 69 Minutes, the pilot episode. By the way, if you're watching on X, please retweet this, because we want to make sure we get as much. We want to make sure we get as in front of. We need to get this in front of Elon Musk's eyes, because if he doesn't see the pilot, this was all for naught. If he doesn't see the pilot, then he can't fund it, and then we're just gonna have to go back to doing what we were doing, which was Mark Kaye Saves the Republic. Either way, if you're on X or if you're on any of the other platforms, or if you're listening to our podcast on Spotify or iTunes or whatever other podcast platform you use, make sure at this moment you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow, make sure you like, and most importantly, again, if you're on Facebook and especially X, share this, retweet it, or what do they call it? Is it retweeting still? I'm going to need some clarity on that. I think it's called, I don't know if it's called re-Xing or reposting or whatever, but hit the little thing that looks like it's a bunch of recycling. And that'll get us some traction, and we'll get in front of the people that make the decisions, and maybe this will become an actual daily, fully funded by X Media program, which I'm very stoked about. Anyway, coming up a little later on today, we'll have the after party too. Big information about that. Our subscriber base, our supporters for the after party is growing immensely by the day, and we're gonna have so much fun today. But look, I only have 54 more minutes. I'm putting a timer on this show, putting a timer of 69 minutes. Holy, I gotta talk faster. All right, so real quick, before we get to the serious news, let's talk about Nancy Pelosi. How rich is Nancy Pelosi? Nancy Pelosi's super rich. She's so rich, she can go cross-country skiing in Washington, D.C. without any snow. That's how rich she is. This is Nancy Pelosi leaving the Capitol building yesterday. Look, she's got her ski poles. She's whoosh, whoosh. She's just cutting right through it. There's no snow in DC, mind you. It's not even cold anymore. You don't even need a scarf or mittens or anything like that. But Nancy Pelosi's got her ski poles out, and she's ready to go. She's so rich, she doesn't even care. Now, some people would say that these are poles to keep her erect, because she's had some trouble with her hip and her everything else, and she's falling down. And I mean, what is she, like 84, I want to say? 85. Is she 85? Did she not just celebrate a birthday? How old is Nancy Pelosi? She is 83. All right, so she's 83. Anyway, she looks a lot older than I guess she actually is. But she's out there with her ski poles, and she's just using them to get to the car. They bring the car around the back of the Capitol building, and she's got all that. She's got a lot of security. Oh, look at all this security he has, by the way. She's got this is like high-level security. She's not even the Speaker of the House anymore. But she's got the car, the driver. She's got a Secret Service agent there, 4 other people protecting her, making sure she can get where she needs to go. Why is it that Nancy Pelosi has all this security? I was at the Capitol building just a few weeks ago for the inauguration, and I'll be honest with you. I saw people walking around the Capitol building, Congress people that I recognized, committee chairmen, ranking members. They were just casually walking around the Capitol building, walking outside the Capitol building. Not a single solitary security guard anywhere to be seen. Not a Secret Service agent anywhere in the bunch. I know Lauren Boebert packs heat. I know she's a pistol packing congresswoman, but I know that there's some others who don't. They just walk around like normal people. They don't have. Why is it that Nancy Pelosi gets all this security? Oh yeah, I forgot. It's because she's so gosh darn So gosh darn rich. Another old woman in Congress was causing some trouble, and it was Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters, this is the weirdest thing ever. Maxine Waters was accosting a Doge security guard who was standing outside of the Department of Education. The Department of Education, is another one of those buildings, or it's one of those facilities. It's one of those, I guess you would say, departments. It's one of those cabinet appointed or created bureaucratic hovels that sucks up a lot of money and doesn't really do any good. It's underperforming, if you will. The amount of money and time and effort that goes into the Department of Education, you just don't get the same stuff coming out the other end. For example, we pointed out that we spend the most per student, and we are 40th in overall education for our students when they come out of high school. We spend more money per student than any other country in the world, but we're ranked 40th. I mean, could you name 39 other countries? Probably not if you're a student in the United States of America. And that's really one of the big problems. And you know what? That'd be a great litmus test. We should walk into schools, and as kids are coming out for lunch, we should stop them and say, please name 39 other countries other than the United States of America. And if they can do it, we save the Department of Education. If they can't, then the Department of Education gets shuttered. But anyway, Maxine Waters is out there, and she's with her brigade of angry social justice warriors, and they're demanding entry into the Department of Education. And this guy, who is, I guess, a Doge appointed security guard. I don't know if I don't think this is Big Balls.
Big Balls.
I don't know what his nickname is, but he basically says, no, I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. I don't care that you're a congresswoman. You're not coming in.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let them see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Giving you the ID, I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. They didn't see it.
What are these old women doing? Maxine, Karen, Margaret? I don't really care, Margaret. Look at them all. Maxine Waters goes up to this guy. Maxine Waters, by the way, she's even old. Hey, Siri, how old is Maxine Waters? I think it's 88 or something.
Maxine Waters is 86 years old.
Okay, so 86-year-old Maxine Waters, who for some reason is still getting sent back to Congress by the people in her district. Maxine Waters, 86 years old, walks up to this guy. She wants to go in. He goes, no. And she goes, show me your ID. And he whips out it. He shows the ID and he puts it away. And then she immediately forgets his name or didn't keep track of his name, whatever. So she goes, show it to me again. He goes, I already showed it to you. And she goes, okay, somebody else asked for his ID. So I had my one turn. It's like you get one turn at the ID, right? I'm sorry, ma'am. You had your one turn at the ID. Shoot. All right. Somebody else ask.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let them see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Giving you the ID, I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. They didn't see it.
I haven't seen. Huh? What is going? It's like she got her bunco squad. These are the women that Maxine Waters plays bunco with. And she's like, come on, ladies, we're going down to the Department of Education. We're going down to the DOE and we're going to get in. Come on. And then we'll play bunco later. Right now, we're going to go. And this guy he's not even having it. There's another video. Look at it. This is the guy. People are calling this guy, by the way, a hero. This is the Doge security guard. This is the hero of the day.
Excuse me?
Are you prepared to stand here all night if we decide to stay?
I guess, yeah.
All right, well, you just stay right there then. And you just stay and stand.
Why aren't you letting us go to that desk like we were able to do last year?
He's not a U.S. employee.
This is a public institution.
Did Elon Musk hire you?
Who do you work for?
Who do you work for?
Are you not aware of
Are you even? Who do you work for?
I'm a federal employee working for the education.
I'm a federal employee. They're just standing there. Look at that. There's a huge crowd. There's a huge crowd of, these aren't the angry liberals. I guess these are like they don't really know what to do. There's this skinny, bald white guy with a Band-Aid on his neck. And what a colorful Band-Aid, by the way. It's one of those It looks like the kind of Band-Aid you give to like a 5-year-old when they cut their finger. But he's got a Band-Aid on his neck and he's just standing there. He's got glasses on his head and he's like, nobody's getting in. Nobody's getting in. And she goes, are you going to stand here all night? He goes, I guess so.
Excuse me?
Are you prepared to stand here all night if we decide to stay?
I guess, yeah.
All right, well, you just stay right there then.
All right. He's like, all right. All right, that's what I was planning to do anyway. Now Maxine Waters is telling him this. First, she's like, you need to move and let me in. And he goes, no. And she goes, all right, well, you just stand right there. He goes, all right, fine. Look, make up your mind, lady. Do you want me to move? Or do you want me to just stand right here? Because I'm more than happy doing either. I'm more than happy doing either of these things. This is the problem we have with well, government and, of course, our elected officials. And remember that every single time a liberal cries or whines or complains about Doge, every single time a liberal cries and whines and complains about what's going on with the White House or who's getting access to the president, every time some liberal cries and whines that they are that there's a constitutional crisis, that Donald Trump is gutting the Constitution, that they're sad because they're losing their paychecks. The USAID cash cow has been slaughtered. There is no more milk coming out of the teat. They're sucking hard and they're squeezing as much as they can, but that cash cow is bone dry. And they're not going to be able to get any money. And anytime they do, anytime they whine, anytime they scream about that, just remember two things. One, they're mad because their corruption has been exposed and they will no longer be able to survive off of your tax dollars. They're mad because they were gaming the system and they were bilking Americans for years, decades, some of them, and they finally got found out. In just 17, 18 days, Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Big Balls were able to root out the corruption and root out the criminal behavior and root out the grift. And they've called these people down to the mat. They've said, look, we know what you've done. We've got the receipts. These people are panicking. Their backs are up against a wall. And now they're lashing out because they feel that if they're going to go down, they've got to go down swinging. And anybody who's quiet, anybody who's laughing, anybody who's excited by all this, anybody who's like, give me more, anybody who looks at this as a good thing is on the right side of history and on the right side of American politics. You have an entire party, the Democrat Party. You have an entire party of people that is angry, get this, that government waste is being fixed. They're angry. They're so furious. An entire party. There's only two political parties. One of them is like, this is great. This is what we wanted. Look at all this money we're going to save. This is amazing. I can't believe that billions of dollars was being spent on the AP and the Politico and the New York Times and transgender Peruvian comic books. I can't believe that we were funding a Sesame Street cartoon or Sesame Street show in Iraq. I can't believe we were spending ridiculous sums of money on all of this stuff that we don't need, we never wanted, doesn't benefit America, and really just ends up back in the pockets of the Democrat Party one way or the other. There's one whole party who's excited by that. Then there's an entire other political party who is so mad, so furious. They are so upset that they want to shut down their cities. They want to shut down Newark, New Jersey.
Shut down the city!
That's what they want to do. They are so mad they just can't even believe it. They won't even rest until they're able to corruptly steal taxpayer dollars again.
We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
Yeah, they won't rest until they can get everybody out into the streets. They won't rest until they can get all of their Democrat friends and counterparts and voters and constituents into the streets yelling and screaming so that they don't have to work anymore and that they can continue to get money funneled into their bank accounts from the USAID and other government agencies. And and Cory Booker's out there calling for everybody to rise up and join him.
This must be a coalition that grows and grows and grows. There can be no bystanders in this fight. It is time that we understand the only thing necessary for wrong to triumph is for right to do nothing, for right to be silent. And so understand this. There are legislators walking through here, but these are the ways we're going to fight.
These are the ways we're going to get people out here on the streets. We need a bigger coalition. We need to grow it every single day. We need a big coalition to fight. Why? Because, well, we have big balls.
Big balls.
Yeah. We also have big hats, too. Look at that. We also have big hats. I don't know if you saw Tucker Carlson's back at the White House with Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and Tucker and Elon are wearing gigantic Make America Great Again hats. We've got big hats. We've got big balls. We've got bigger hats. We've got big dreams. We've got big ideas, and we've got a big mandate from the American people to do exactly what we're doing. That's what this picture tells me. That's what Tucker and Elon and Donald Trump hanging out together at the White House in massive Make America Great Again hats tells me that we won. We won with a majority of the popular vote, a majority of the electoral vote, and a majority of Americans saying, yeah, we want a closed border. We want illegal immigrants who are committing crimes sent back home. We don't want fentanyl in this country. We don't want to be taken advantage of. We want you to drill, baby, drill. We want you to increase our military. We want you to get DEI out of our schools. We don't want men competing against women in sports. Everything that Donald Trump has done so far is something the American people demanded he do, and he's doing it. And the left is just beside themselves. And all they can think is, how do we grow a big coalition of people to fight back? It's impossible for a couple of reasons. First of all, nobody cares anymore. No, they realize they're in the smaller segment of society. Mika Brzezinski and Morning Joe Scarborough were on MSNBC today. I'm going to play this to you because I believed it, but I also couldn't believe it. This is one of those things where I'm like, man, I can't believe this, but also I can. They were talking about Donald Trump's plan for Gaza. You may be familiar with it. Donald Trump the other day just dropped a big bomb, no pun intended, on Gaza saying, hey, guess what? The United States of America, we're going to take over Gaza. We're going to own it long term. We're going to move all the Palestinians out. We're going to raise the whole thing, level it all, clean it out, and then rebuild it. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be the Riviera of the Middle East. I don't want to be that guy. I hate to say, I don't want to sound cute. But the Riviera of the Middle East. That's what Donald Trump's plans are for Gaza. Now, you may remember last year, about this time, there were massive anti-Israeli, pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses across the country. They started in the Ivy Leagues, Harvard, Columbia, really, I think was the tipping point. They started to make their way down through Southern colleges and across the country to the West Coast, and students refused to go to class. And they refused to sleep in their dorms. They pitched tents outside. They refused to shower. And they were protesting every single day. They would replace American flags at universities like Harvard and whatnot with the Palestinian flag. They tried to at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, but those UNC bros came in, the fraternity bros came in and saved the day. And they became heroes, and they were at the RNC, and I think they won the key to the world or something. I think it was a great time was had by all. And now that you've got Donald Trump talking about, moving people out of Palestine, moving Palestinians out of Gaza, rather, there don't seem to be the same kind of angry protests. There don't seem to be people out there who are protesting or yelling or screaming or refusing to go to class or refusing to shower or refusing to do any of those other things. In fact, it's pretty quiet. And Mika Brzezinski and Morning Joe Scarborough are a little perturbed by that.
Comments on Gaza seem to be a surprise, and yet no protests across the country. I'm looking for them, but I don't see them.
You mean the campus protests?
Yeah. Sorry.
It's oddly quiet.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing people running around screaming "Genocide Joe" or
holding up schools.
I'm seeing protests in Dearborn, Michigan, which is so deeply offended by Joe Biden's policy in the Middle East, and yet silence. Just silence. Isn't it something?
Isn't it something? Now, this is odd for a couple of reasons. First of all, they seem almost upset that there's no protests. They're saying, look, I remember last time when they were talking, Genocide Joe, he was gonna remove people from Palestine, he was gonna blow them off the face, all this stuff. And everyone was protesting. Now Donald Trump is literally saying, hey, we're gonna move all the Palestinians out of Gaza. We're gonna resettle them in Egypt and Jordan, and nobody is saying, everyone's just going to class. Like there's no problem whatsoever. Everybody's just all the college kids are going to school, they're going to class. And this is interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, a lot of folks were saying, gee, this really seems like Mika and Joe are not just shocked by it, but almost like they're trying to encourage it. This seems to me like a dog whistle. This seems to me like Mika and Joe are saying, gosh, kids, why aren't you protesting? God, you know what would be a great idea right now? If you went and protested Donald Trump's Gaza policy, just like you did Joe Biden's policy. Why, Joe Biden supported Israel and sent weapons to Israel, and you guys lost your friggin' minds. Donald Trump is literally saying that he wants to take over Gaza and remove every Palestinian and move them to Egypt, and you're just hanging out in the quad playing frisbee? Come on, get motivated. Get organized, as Barack Obama would say. Go do something. The other interesting thing about this is a lot of people are saying, there's a reason why these kids aren't going out and doing this kind of thing. There's a reason why these kids aren't living in the quad and waving their signs. And that's because Elon Musk and the USAID have come to a head and the funding has dried up. Think about this. The USAID would fund international programs that were mostly left-wing, mostly supported some kind of crazy ideological socialist, ideology. And now the money's gone. The money's been frozen. The organization is about shut down. Should be shut down, I would think, by the end of next week, if Donald Trump has anything to say about it. And the money for a lot of these protests probably somehow came through the USAID. Probably came through some organization that Doge has already taken a hatchet to. So if you don't want protests on college campuses, if you don't want kids living in tents, if you don't want kids bust in to create havoc and throw bricks and light fires and wave signs, if you don't want any of that, then let Donald Trump, let the Department of Government Efficiency, let Elon Musk, let Big Balls, let everyone else on his team do their thing. Because the more government waste that we shut down, the more we realize a lot of this government waste was going to anti-government activities. And I think you're going to start to see less and less of these ridiculous protests, less and less fuel for the fires of anti-Semitism, because there's less and less money coming out of the federal government to fund those things. Also, by the way, and I'm a big fan of this, Donald Trump announced on Truth Social, he's bringing back plastic straws. He's bringing back plastic straws. That's what here. Wait, hold on. I just deleted it. I got to pick it. Here it is. Donald Trump, I will be signing an executive order next week ending the ridiculous Biden push for paper straws which don't work. Back to plastic. Donald Trump is true. He's making America great again. He's making lunch great again. He's making soda great again. Plastic straws are back and the paper straws will be gone. An executive order ending the ridiculous Biden push for paper straws, which don't. This is truly a guy who cares about your fast food consumption. I'm telling you, this is a guy who truly cares about you enjoying your Diet Coke to the best of your ability, you enjoying your soda or your milkshake or whatever it is you're drinking, because they were designed to drink out of plastic straws, and paper straws are just kind of, they are just kind of oogie. Real quick, listen, there's so much more to go. Oh, in fact, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me just double check the time on 69 Minutes, the pilot. Yes, there's 33 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. All right. So I gotta hustle a little bit. So here's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get back to 69 Minutes, the pilot episode, I would like to thank one of our illustrious sponsors, someone whom we could not do the show without, and that is Colonial Metals Group. And Colonial Metals Group is headed up by our good buddy Paul Stone. Paul Stone, the CEO of Colonial Metals Group, and he's come up with something really amazing. It's not just a gold IRA and a precious metals savings plan for you, for your finances, to make sure that your financial future is secure, but he's put together a free gold guide for 2025, which again, you can get for free. You just throw in a little bit of information, your name, your email address, and you can get it at freegoldguide.com/K. freegoldguide.com/KAYE. If you're watching on any of our platforms like YouTube or Rumble, you can find the link right there in the description. But basically, when you get in there, you'll see how a gold IRA can protect and grow your retirement savings, how a gold IRA offers a strong defense against de-dollarization, how a gold IRA optimizes your assets and your savings. You can get into one tax-free and penalty-free. You can protect your financial future. And this is so cool. The best deal that I think he's ever offered. On qualifying accounts, you get $7,500 in free bonus silver. I don't know why. And it just starts with a free gold guide. So go to freegoldguide.com/K, freegoldguide.com/KAYE, and get your free gold guide from our friends at Colonial Metals Group. A big reason why we're able to do what we're able to do here every single day. And we love all of our sponsors, and we are excited to continue to bring on more. And if Elon Musk fully funds this show, we may actually not need any sponsors. Oh man, I wonder if Elon Musk funding this show would be commercial free. You know how that goes? Like sometimes if somebody buys like the entire hour, that kind of thing, then there's no commercials. Or if you pay a fee, like for example, you pay $10 a month, whatever, then, Netflix, there's no commercials on Netflix. Why? Well, you're paying for Netflix. But if you go to some place like Peacock and you don't pay, there's commercial. I don't know how it would work. I'm excited. I'm excited for our first production meeting so I can really get down to the nitty gritty and really get down to the bottom of how this new venture, is going to work. All right, let's get back to beeswax. There's still so much to cover and only 30 minutes and 53 seconds left of our 69 minutes today. Donald Trump has done some really amazing things. And I fear that we're getting to a point in time here because now I've heard people complaining about gas prices. Donald Trump, it's the 18th day of his presidency, 19th day maybe. Let's see. It would have been 14, 15, 16. It's like the 18th day. So in 18 days, Donald Trump has done a miraculous list of things. But I fear that, much like the advent of the microwave oven, people are now going to start getting impatient with how not super quickly things may be moving. For example, in the old days, when you wanted to make a hot dog, you would have to fire up the grill or boil some water or something like that. You'd have to put it in the oven, fry it on a pan. It could take anywhere from, depending on your method of hot dog cooking, it could take anywhere from, I would say, 10 to 20 minutes. If you're boiling it, I would say 20 minutes is what you want to give it until, until it gets nice and hot and steamy and the skin starts to break open. Frying it, same thing. I would say maybe 10 to 15 minutes. You got to heat up the pan and then maybe 10 minutes. But along came the advent of the microwave oven. And I remember the first time I was able to cook a hot dog in, count them, 30 seconds. 30 seconds for a hot dog. I came home from school. I wanted a snack. I grabbed a hot dog. I threw it in there. 30 seconds later, I was eating it. It was a marvel. It was amazing. It was a technological advance, the likes of which the world had never seen. But a couple years in, 30 seconds became the norm. Couple years in after that, 30 seconds was just way too long. And I remember being starving and I would go in and I'd be like, let me get a hot dog. And I'd throw it in the microwave and I'd hit 30 seconds and I'd watch the counter, 29, 28, 27. And somewhere around 20, I'd start screaming, come on, come on. I'm starving here. I can't wait 15 more seconds. And then all of a sudden, ding. And I was like, thank God that took forever. I feel like we are in danger of the same thing happening with Donald Trump. So much has happened so fast and at such a record pace that I feel like people are now getting impatient. They're like, wow, you secured the border. We've got border crossings down by 90%. We've got border convictions or prosecutions up by 52%. We've got the men out of women's sports. We've got the tariffs on Mexico and Canada, and now they're cracking down on fentanyl. We already figured out how to repatriate these people and ship these illegal criminals back to where they came. We're working on getting the Panama Canal back. We're working on Greenland. We're going to take over Gaza. This is amazing. So much stuff is happening so quickly. But then you start and think, okay, well, wait a minute. What about the oil? What about the taxes? What about no tax on tips? I feel like a lot of people are like, well, if Donald Trump can do all of this stuff in 18 days, I want everything else done in 19 days. By day 20, America should be great again. It takes a little bit of time. Keep in mind that Donald Trump has done all of this in 18 days, and the Senate hasn't even confirmed all of his nominees. In fact, they pushed back Kash Patel till next week, which Chuck Grassley, who is the I don't get it. I don't understand. This is the thing. This is another one of the reasons why I want to go to Congress, because I just don't understand why these people are so slow. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad how slow these guys are. But Chuck Grassley yesterday on X, or whoever is reporting for Chuck Grassley, he wrote that he was going to be pushing back the Kash Patel the Kash Patel vote out of committee until next week. Here it is right here. And he wrote it in a really weird way. Somebody commented on it. Look at this. This is the weirdest thing ever. Chuck Grassley, send Judic committee plans to vote Kash Patel's nomination out of committee next Thursday, 2/13. But he wrote committee, CMTE. He wrote judiciary, JUDIC. And then everyone was just like a cat turd, ridiculous. Ryan Fournier, why the delay? Starting, Senate should be there 6 a.m. till midnight, 6 days a week. Someone else wrote something about why is it written like it's on a Nokia phone from the 90s, which I thought was pretty. But anyway, so next week, the Senate is moving so slowly. Donald Trump has basically changed the entire world for the better. He's changed the United States. He's changed Panama. He's about to change the Middle East. He's already met with one world leader, Benjamin Netanyahu. And today, I believe the Japanese, I take it back. He's already met with 2 world leaders in 2 weeks.
President Trump and the Japanese Prime Minister right now, as they come out for their traditional photo, and they'll stand. This is Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, and he's just gotten there. They'll talk about a whole host of things, all about how to reserve and build the diplomacy between our friend Japan and the United States.
All right, so you got Netanyahu and you got Shiba Inu. No, Shiba Inu, that's someone. Anyway, the Shiba Inu, they're all there. They're coming to the White House. They're meeting with the president. He's getting stuff done, and he doesn't even fully have his cabinet yet. He doesn't have a Health and Human Services director yet. He doesn't have a director of national intelligence yet, which is very important. He doesn't have anyone in charge of the FBI full time. He doesn't even have, what else doesn't he even have? He doesn't have, there's another one that he's missing that's very important. Oh, he just got Pam Bondi as Attorney General. I mean, it's amazing how slowly these people are working, and nobody's complaining about that, but I hear people complaining about how the taxes aren't down yet. Well, they will be. Caroline Leavitt reminded everybody yesterday that Donald Trump has an ambitious tax plan. Donald Trump is putting forth a tax agenda, the likes of which no one has ever seen. But she also wanted to remind everybody that Donald Trump is not solely responsible for taxes, that taxes come out of Congress, and Congress is, well, they're Congress.
So these are the tax priorities of the Trump administration that the president has laid out for members in that meeting today. No tax on tips, which is obviously a very public campaign promise that the president made. No tax on seniors' Social Security. No tax on overtime pay. Renewing President Trump's 2017 middle-class tax cuts. Again, these are the president's priorities. Adjusting the SALT cap. Eliminate all the special tax breaks for billionaire sports team owners. Close the carried interest tax deduction loophole. Tax cuts for Made in America products. This will be the largest tax cut in history for middle-class working Americans. The president is committed to working with Congress to get this done.
Yeah, but the problem is you got to work with Congress to get it done, and working with Congress to get anything done is just, it's just the worst in the world. It's so mind-numbing. It's like slamming your head against a brick wall, because unfortunately, you've still got Democrats in Congress. And unfortunately, you've got Republicans who live in Democrat districts, and Republicans who live in Democrat districts are selling their souls and their party to remain in power, when what they should be doing is they should be voting with Donald Trump to get these tax cuts done so that they can go back to their districts and say, look how great I made your life. And if they get voted out, so be it. Because that's what it's about, going to Congress to do the right thing, not going to Congress to be there forever. Unless, of course, you're Nancy Pelosi or Maxine Waters or one of the other bajillion Democrats who decided that public service wasn't going to be public service. It was going to be their career, their retirement plan. That's not what it's all about. If you go to Congress as a Republican, vote as a Republican. Do what the Republican Party wants you to do. And if you come from a Joe Biden district or a Kamala Harris district or a district that leans blue, oh, well, you can't vote with the Democrats. Otherwise, you're basically just a Democrat, and we don't need you. And that's one of the big problems. The other thing that everyone wants to know about is Donald Trump and the oil drill, baby, drill. Well, on day one, Donald Trump signed a bajillion, I think that's an industry term, a bajillion different executive orders. And a lot of them had to do with undoing Joe Biden's ridiculous rules about where you can and cannot drill. Joe Biden banned drilling off the Gulf of Mexico and Alaska and various other places. And Donald Trump on the first day undid all of that. But guess what he didn't have? He didn't have a Secretary of the Interior. He didn't have a Secretary of Energy. Well, now he does. The Senate finally confirmed Chris Wright as Secretary of Energy, finally confirmed Doug Burgum as Secretary of the Interior. Now they can go out and they can start to drill, baby, drill. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Chris Wright was talking about how energy is now that he's in charge of the Energy Department, energy is one of the primary items on the agenda because we need to make sure that energy comes back to the United States of America for a couple reasons. Number one, we want cheap gas. We want the jobs. We want to be able to support ourselves. We don't want to be reliant on people that hate us and want to bomb us off the face of the earth like Iran. And we also don't want to give them money to build nuclear weapons so they can bomb us off the face of the earth. Very important reasons why we got to focus on this drilling.
But we've had 4 years of an administration that's done everything it could to raise the cost to produce a barrel of oil. We're not sure if you can get a permit, to drill here, or it's going to take 18 months. You've got uncertainty. You've got to build pipelines or gathering lines to move that product to market. Well, we're not sure if you can do that. You got to do another study, another this. So when you add the costs, of course you hurt the economics. Now we're going to have a more efficient operating environment. I think we're going to see some efficiencies from scale, some efficiencies from certainty, and more credible capital markets. We've tried to starve the oil and gas industry globally, somehow thinking that's going to help climate change. There's been a lot of nonsense, and I think the agenda of this administration, this president, is to bring back common sense.
Can we have? That's right. But we've had no more nonsense, just common sense. No more nonsense, just common sense. Bring back drilling. Bring back fracking. Bring back common sense. Bring back the plastic straws. We've had all these ridiculous executive orders. We've had all these ridiculous mandates coming out from the Joe Biden administration for climate, to protect the climate, to save the earth, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, we're all starving to death because we can't afford food and or gas. We have to take our pick. And Donald Trump is not only bringing back plastic straws, but he's bringing back common sense. And also he's going to drill and drill and drill. And Tim Burchett, who is one of our favorite Congress people from Tennessee, I love Tim Burchett because he just automatically votes no on everything. And I think that's the way to go with Congress. If you really want to be a Doge congressman or a conservative MAGA congressman, just vote no on everything. Because odds are if you're voting on something, it's to either spend more money on something or create some new regulation. And we already spend way too much money and we already have way too many regulations. So when I get to Congress in 2026, after primarying Representative John Rutherford in the 5th District of Florida, when I get to Congress, I will do the same thing. Vote no on any new regulation, vote no on any new spending, because we spend too much and we're overregulated. And Tim Burchett is the exact same way. Plus, I love Tim Burchett because when he walks out of the Capitol every day, he tells everybody exactly what happened.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett, Friday. Hey brother, appreciate you. Stay warm.
Also, he's just the friendliest guy ever, isn't he? Remember the one video where he was talking and he sees Nancy Mace, he goes, "Hey girl." Now he's like, "Hey buddy, stay warm." Anyway, here, let's get back to what he said.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett, Friday. Hey brother, appreciate you. Stay warm. Last votes Friday. Motion to recommit. Procedural move. That was a no vote.
Okay. See, he said a motion to recommit and procedural vote. I was a no. But look at what's already happening. This was posted like 11:30, and he said it's Friday and we're done. Friday, 11:30 a.m. Last vote of the week. I mean, I didn't even really start. That's not true. I started working at like 5:30. But, we're still going. After this, I'm doing this show for another 18 minutes and 32 seconds. Then I'm going to jump right into our after party. After that, I've got an ACES meeting with the American Conservative Empowerment Society. And then I've got, I'm sure, a list of things that my wife is going to make me do before we have dinner tonight. Listen, but that doesn't matter. The point is, we work. Americans work. Donald Trump was up and at him at 5:30 a.m. He's working throughout. Tim Burchett is like, hey, they wrapped it. I mean, Tim Burchett would be working if he could. But Congress, they wrap up at noon on a Friday. This is exactly what. So when I go to Congress, and again, I'm like a 94.2% chance it's going to happen. But when I go to Congress, if it's like Friday at noon and they're like, all right, we're done for the weekend, I'm going to be like, what? And I'm going to go and do more work. I'll come out. You know what I'll do? I'll immediately go live. And I'll be like, hey guys, listen, I know what you're thinking. Mark Kaye, why aren't you at Congress? Mark Kaye, why aren't you on the floor doing something? Why aren't you helping Donald Trump pass his budget or get his tax breaks? Why aren't you on the floor, lifting sanctions so that we can go do this, that, or the other? Why? And I'll be like, look, they shut down Congress, but I'm here and I'm going to keep you informed. I'm just going to go live and tell you everything that happened that day. Because I think there's so much that could still be done that these lawmakers are leaving on the table. But at least Tim Burchett is saying we're moving forward, and they did vote on something, or they did come up with something which is necessary to the financial future, the national security future, the economic future, and the energy future of the United States.
Protecting American energy production, Representative Pfluger. Pfluger's a real good dude. I'm big on him. It prevents any president from declaring a moratorium on fracking unless authorized to do so, and it expresses the sense of Congress that fracking should be regulated by the states when it occurs on state and private land. That is a great idea. These mandates that come down, one size fits all, don't work. And all this is lobbied by so-called environmental groups that are generally funded overseas interests to keep America from being energy independent. We still rely on them for their energy. So anyway, thank y'all so much for sending me here. That's the media right there. See them?
Yeah, and then he shows the media waiting for everybody. Listen, and Representative August Pfluger's from Texas 11, maybe? I don't. There's a lot. Here's the thing. There's a lot of districts, so sometimes I forget which. Hold on, August Pfluger, and it's Pfluger. It's August Pfluger with a P. Oh, represents Texas 11, which is great. Texas 11. He's been there for a few years now. Anyway, so he's from Texas, so of course he's going to be for no fracking regulations. But this is an important bill because it says that no president can unilaterally ban any kind of energy producing activity like fracking or drilling, or offshore drilling, or onshore drilling, or anything at all, or probably even shut down the Keystone XL pipeline. Any and all, because nothing that you do universally benefits the universe. This goes back to the core concept of the United States of America. The United States of America is huge. It's not even the biggest country in the world, but it's big, and it's very vast, and it's very different. And if you've traveled anywhere, you know that here in Florida, the home of Mark Kaye Saves the Republic / 69 Minutes, the pilot episode, here at beautiful Mar-a-Lago in illustrious Jacksonville, Florida at Patriot HQ, it is usually warm and sunny and it's flat, and we have miles and miles of oceans. So we have a lot of stuff that we're concerned about. Red snapper, for example, big concern. The military, the Navy, we have a huge naval base at Mayport. Navy and then building up the Navy and the military and keeping naval contracts. That's a big issue for people here in Florida. Tourism. We want to make sure, gas prices affect us, because if people can't drive anywhere for their vacations, they're not coming to Florida, which from a traffic standpoint is great, but from an economic standpoint could be a problem. So those are our issues. But if you go to Arizona, you've got totally different issues in Arizona. It's desert. There's other stuff. I don't even know. All I know about Arizona is there's a desert. There's a desert and there's a football team, I think. Anyway, but there's casinos. Oh, that's Nevada. If you go up to Washington State, totally different. You've got the Puget Sound, that whole area. Maine. They've got forestation problems. California. I mean, look at the issues facing California: water and high taxes and everything else. Every area is different. So if you just ban drilling in Alaska, okay, that hurts Alaskans and the rest of us. But if you just ban fracking around the entire country, you're hurting everybody unnecessarily. And that's what Representative Pfluger is saying. Pfluger is saying, and Tim Burchett is all about it. So we've got taxes, we've got drilling. Another thing is, by the way, Joe Biden's economic devastation and Bidenomics and his mismanagement of pretty much everything that he tried to manage we're still feeling the effects of that. This is, what's his name? There was a jobs report that came out. And do you remember how Joe Biden would say, we created 800,000 jobs in this month. We created 500,000 jobs, job creations through the roof. And then as we got later and later in his administration, we found out that those numbers were actually inflated and that they didn't create as many jobs as they told us that they did, that the jobs reports weren't actually as good as we were led to believe, that the job market was suffering, that Joe Biden's economic principles really were devastating the job market. And the 800,000 jobs was actually more like 200,000 jobs. And then the 200,000 jobs was even less. It's still happening. And the January jobs report was the last jobs report for the Joe Biden administration. And it was just about as bad as you would think.
Say that the big headline for me is something that you guys haven't talked about yet, but I'd encourage you to, is that we've got this thing going on where the professionals at the BLS keep revising down the data. And so the headline for me when I'm looking at this is that it was the biggest downward revision. You know, the benchmark goes through last March, the biggest downward revision since 2009. And we're still sifting through the numbers, but, you know, it's really, really big. Could be as much as, if you go a little bit beyond the month, the last month, it could be as much as 1 million jobs fewer than we thought after this benchmark revision. And so the thing is that why is it that we keep seeing sort of positive jobs numbers, and then when we look back a year later, it's way worse than we thought? And so I say that what we learned with all these downward revisions is that the Biden economy, the Biden jobs market, was way worse than markets thought. And that's sort of consistent with the rest of our views that their policies were unwise. And there's a lot of cleaning up to do. And I think that if you look at ISM that just came out, that market participants believe that President Trump is going to be able to turn things around. And with these big downward revisions, we can see that there's actually a lot of work to do.
All right, that's Kevin Hassett, the National Economic Council Director. Kevin Hassett's being nice. He's sugarcoating it for you. I hope you're not diabetic, because he's sugarcoating it. He's saying what we found here is, well, last year we thought that there were this many jobs, but now they've come out with a revision, and the the council says it's actually 1 million fewer jobs. 1 million fewer jobs. And so we're starting to see that the Biden economy, it wasn't exactly what we thought it was. No, they were lying to us, is what I mean. He's saying, the Biden economy didn't seem to be as proactive as they thought. It wasn't as effective as they thought it was. And we're learning now, history is telling us that the Biden economic policy, Bidenomics, was not good, because we've had to revise this, and we did not get 1 million jobs that we previously claimed we created. That's what he's saying. That's the nice way of saying they lied to us over and over again, month after month after month. They told us they had 800,000 jobs. They had 200,000 jobs. They told us they had 500,000 jobs. They had 100,000 jobs. They told us they had 300,000 jobs, and they lost 400,000 jobs. And now that Joe Biden's gone and Bidenomics is dead and Kamala Harris is a memory. She's a mystery and a memory. She's both. Actually, I can't figure out Kamala Harris for the life of me.
We've got to have leaders who are solution-oriented, which we've been and are, and I am going forward.
Anyway, so now that Kamala Harris is a memory, we realize the truth. And the truth is that Joe Biden lied, and the Democrats lied, and Kamala Harris lied, and the media lied, and there were no jobs being created. There was no 1 million jobs being created in the final year of the Biden administration. They've just gone back and revised it by negative 1 million jobs. That's not an accident. That's a bold-faced lie. Kevin Hassett also, by the way, was on CNN teaching them about how tariffs work, because, CNN, they don't know a lot over there. They'd like to think that they do, but they don't. Luckily, you have folks like Kevin Hassett, the National Economic Council Director, to explain to them exactly how tariffs work.
China is not going to jack up prices because of a 10% tariff in a way that's going to be probably even identifiable in the CPI.
It's not about China jacking up prices. It's American businesses having to pay the duty and having to bear the cost of the tariff. Then they pass it on to consumers. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about. I'll say my point another way. That suppose that you're buying something for $1. And then we say, hey, you got to pay a 10-cent tax. And then if the store charges $1.10, then the person who's buying the stuff from the store pays the 10 cents tax. And if the store charges $1, then the store is only getting 90 cents now. And so the question is, what's going to happen? And the conversation we had before was explaining how we think about those things. And how we think about this thing is that the Chinese are not going to have a much tariff-inclusive higher price. That's what we believe, and that's what we've seen before.
And thus, customers won't be paying $1.10?
Right, they'll be paying $1. And the Chinese will be getting 90 cents. I mean, obviously, yes.
Okay. I just think there seems to be such squishy language around this that's why I keep pressing on it. If you can be confident and assured,
right? That was pretty direct.
But is the company going to only make 90 then?
Excuse me?
You said
the person who buys the thing from China, whoever that might be, is going to have a tariff-inclusive price that's very close to the price before the tariff. That's what economic theory predicts. Yes.
That's basic economics for you. And she's like, wait a minute, you're using squishy language. What, English? Is English the squishy language he's using? It's a 10% tariff. And he's 100% right. If China's selling something for $1 and you're paying $1 for it, and then Donald Trump says you got to pay 10%, China's not going to say, okay, now you have to pay $1.10. They're going to say, fine, we'll only make 90 cents on it. Why? Because China's selling billions of dollars worth of stuff to the United States of America. China knows that they're taking advantage of us. China knows that they've been overcharging us. China knows that they're getting the better end of the deal. China knows, just like Donald Trump does, just like Kevin Hassett does, but apparently CNN doesn't, that even a 10% tariff means that instead of making an exorbitant profit off of American consumers, they're making a somewhat exorbitant profit off of American consumers. And if you tariffed them another 10%, then they'd just be making a moderately exorbitant profit off of American consumers. And really, you'd have to be getting into like 30, 40% tariffs before China would go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, enough is enough. It's us saving money. It's us making money back that they've already been taking from us. I mean, it's like, okay, I'll be honest with you, because I sell t-shirts. You guys know, you go to the Mark Kaye shop, you sell a t-shirt. If I sell you a t-shirt for $35, you know what doesn't cost me $35? I'm not going to tell you what it costs, but it doesn't cost me $35. Why? Because I'm a capitalist and it's for profit, and I pay this price for the t-shirt, you pay this price for the t-shirt, okay? Now, if there's a tariff on the t-shirt, and I don't change the $35, then I make a little bit less. And this, it comes a little bit closer. So what happens is you still pay the same. I'm making not as much, but I'm still making some. That's the tariff theory that we've seen in the past when it comes to China. That's the tariff theory that we believe we're going to see in the future when it comes to China. That's the tariff theory that everybody understands. Everybody knows. Donald Trump gets. His economic advisors get. Everybody gets it except for CNN, who believes that English is squishy language. And that's why you need to keep it simple with CNN. You need to keep it short, like one syllable words at the most.
Big balls.
Yeah, that's good. That's perfect. That's about CNN's speed right there. That's something they can hang out. By the way, speaking of the Mark Kaye shop, man, this is a great segue. Wait a minute. Where's the actual Mark Kaye? There it is. This is a great segue. Don't forget that we have a brand new line of Gulf of America t-shirts and sweatshirts and V-necks. And we've got these great travel tumblers that everybody loves. The official Gulf of America t-shirt is available right now at the Mark Kaye shop. And as I said before, it's only $35. However, there's even a discount code. If you go to discount code Trump World, you get 15% off. If you're a member of the Katriot Club, you get 25% off. And I'll tell you, 25% off of a Gulf of America t-shirt pays for your first month membership in the Katriot Club. I'm just saying. If you get a hoodie, it pays for like 3 months in the Katriot Club. So whatever you want to get, if you want a Donald Trump official portrait hoodie featuring the official portrait of Donald Trump released by the White House just before the inauguration and hanging in every government building in America, by all means, snap one up. Snap up two. If you want to get the Brighter Future hoodie, which is one of my favorites, it's got the Mark Kaye signature logo on the front and Donald Trump's iconic quote, "America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger, freer, greater, and more united than ever before." Have at it. When you join the Katriot Club, you get 25% off. So you'd be foolish not to buy one. The savings is just amazing. If you want official Katriot gear, get your Katriot gear, MAGA King gear, Mark Kaye Saves the Republic, all this stuff, whatever you want. Load it into your cart, and you can use coupon code TrumpWorld for 15% off. Or if you prefer, you can also do what I suggest, and that is join the Katriot Club. You can join the Katriot Club, and you can get 25% off your entire order whenever you order anything. And that's the thing too. That's for life. That's right. And so many of our Patriot Club members have already experienced that. So many of our Patriot Club members have already taken advantage of that. Oh, and they get free stickers too. When you join the Patriot Club, you get free stickers. We've got these sticker packs. We just sent out we just put them together. We've sent out the first batch, but there's all these official stickers. You can only get them as a member of the Patriot Club, the brand new Patriots logo sticker. So everywhere you go, you can let people know, yes, I'm a Patriot. I'm a liberty-loving, freedom-defending Patriot, and I love Mark Kaye Saves the Republic. You can get your Mark Kaye Saves the Republic sticker officially again so that you know you can tell people you love the show, the Gulf of America, so because you support Donald Trump and you support American excellence, and you want everybody to know that they should support the Gulf of America and American excellence, and that there's no reason why here in the United States of America we should be promoting other countries. The 47 Daily, our other podcast, and this is my favorite, the official Mar-a-Lago crest sticker. Just like Mar-a-Lago has their official crest, why is it not focusing? We now have the Mar-a-Lago official crest, which apparently we can't focus on, but it's there. And if you become a Patriot Club member, you get one. Also, you get to join the after party, which happens here in, look, 1 minute and 28 seconds. So we're gonna go a little bit long at exactly 3 o'clock. I'm sorry, 2 o'clock. I have my American Conservative Empowerment Society meeting, our live Q&K call. So we're gonna go about 20 minutes or so with the after party today. But that you've got a minute. You've got 1 minute to join. Go to Patriots. I should probably throw that back up. Hang on, let me throw that back up so you know where to go. Oh, it's on top of the timer. Uh-oh, hang on. I gotta move one of these. There we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. There's room for everybody. Go to Patriots.com right now. You can join the Patriot Club. It's part of our locals supporters only community. When you join locals, become a supporter. It's $10 measly a month. And there's no tariffs on that. There are no tariffs on that. It's $10 a month. If you get the annual subscription, then guess what? The annual subscription gets you 2 months free, and you get to join us in the after party here in just a minute. Listen, thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure you subscribe. Oh, and if you're on X, listen, this has been our pilot episode because Elon Musk he said that he's going to fully fund anyone who wants to do a show on X called 69 Minutes. And so we've been doing a pilot here. This show lasted exactly 69 minutes. We even threw up the logo there. I think it was hard hitting. I don't know. It may have been a little softer hitting than he was anticipating. But if you're listening on X, if you're watching on X, go ahead and retweet this. Tell everybody to retweet it because we want to make sure we get it in front of the right people so that we can make this a reality. Oh, look at that. Time's up. That was fun. That was so fun. I'm going to be honest with you. I really enjoyed that. All right. I guess I can move the logo back over now. The after party begins in exactly 3 minutes. The after party begins in exactly 3 minutes. So in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Mark Kaye Saves the Republic. Listen every single day. Make sure that you're getting our downloads. Make sure you tell the podcast platform, I need more of this, because we're going to keep you entertained. We're going to keep you informed. We're going to bring you the inspiration and the enlightenment that you need every single day so that we can continue to fight, and save the Republic.